Hello dear audio wizards and fellow music makers. Today we're going to see a mastering from start to finish, following my whole process using a track of an artist I really love, which is Isabel Soto. This is a track that is being released on O12, which is the label of Claudio PRC. It's a master that I'm starting. This will be released as is, and so follow my whole process from start to finish. All right, so here we go. I imported, this is a VA, so there are several tracks. I imported them all in my mastering template with all my usual shortcuts, whatever. And the track is here, Isabel Soto Voluta. So first thing I'm doing every time I'm mastering a project, I import the tracks and then I do a collect and save. So I'm sure that I have a backup of all the tracks, because wherever you download them, at least now I know that all the mixes are in the project of the mastering session. First really important thing. Then what I'm going to do is right click, because I have collect them and save them, and say open this into iZotope RX editor, because out of the bat I see there are quite heavy peaks at some moments and I don't want to tame these with compression or limiting, because it will duck the whole sound. It will sound unnatural. So here, show track in Finder, here it is, and right click, open with iZotope RX. There is another little trick I can show you. If you go to preferences and sample editor, right? Sample editor, you can see here rows, applications, iZotope RX editor, say open. So now I have chosen iZotope RX editor, right? And now that this is done, there is a shortcut. You can just double click on the file, and if you go to the audio and you click edit, it's opening the file, the audio track, in your chosen editor. So for the sake of the exercise, showing this again. So here I click edit up and it's shown in iZotope RX. So in iZotope RX, the tool I'm using are the declip model, because this allows me to show the loudness ranges. And as you can see, the other thing I'm using as a start is the waveform stats. So with this, I can now analyze the track and I see that there are peaks close to 0 and that the body of the track is more or less around -6, right? So this is a good indicator that I have actually like huge peaks, this one in particular here, huge peaks that should be tamed manually, because if I want to have a limiter working properly, any limiter will start to break apart above like 4 decibels of gain reduction. And so here I would have to maybe use a clipper, but then a clipper is adding harmonic distortion, and these are all kind of things I don't want, because I want my master to be clean and as transparent as possible, right? So how do we do this? First, I set the level at something that feels like average of the peaks. I'm tackling a few ones here, I'm tackling the big ones there, but I'm not touching to the body of the sound. I keep some dynamics left for later processor. That's one thing. Another thing that is interesting is that I realized while doing this that the right channel is pretty much quieter than the left one. Give me a sec, I have to send this to you. Play this. You see there's a disbalance. This might be because this is recorded with modular synths or using hardware. It's not a big problem. So I can fix it with some panning, but this is not something I want to do. Why? Because, well, all the processors that are before will receive a difference in loudness. So if I have some harmonic content enhancers, whatever being exciters or saturators, they will not work the same on the left and on the right. And so they will change the tone. So I need to address this before. How? Well, I can first select one channel, the right one, which is a quieter one. And I will try something easy. I see there's more or less like 0.33 of difference. So I might actually do the opposite. I'll choose the left one. I will take the gain tool, gain, and I will do -1. Let's say 35. Right? I could do -1.4, but let's leave some little room for wiggle, -135 and render. Okay, let's play this again here and compare it back and forth. Look at here below, back and forth initial state. There's this tiny shift, but now things are really like centered, much better. Okay, so this was the first detailed but important fix, especially because this is going to be printed on vinyl, so I really need to pay attention to the stereo image, right? Usually when I'm doing mastering for vinyl, the process is to first do the digital version and then adjust the digital version to comply for vinyl release, right? So we have now somehow a balanced output and we're gonna address those peaks. So the way to do this is my way to do this is go to the here, instant process, and choose gain. What is instant process means that as soon as I select an area, it's going to process the area with the selected feature, which is the gain. Okay, so this is a trick to be faster. Then I'm going to dial in my waveform stats. I have the declip model. Let's maybe adjust this now a little bit because it feels more balanced. So we're getting something like this. Yeah, this should be right. I'm not touching to the body of the tracks, but I'm taking some of the peaks down, right? And for the sake of exercise and for the easiness of things, it's not the 0.2 dB that makes a huge difference. I'm going to put this at -7, makes the calculations for me easier, right? So let's go for the first peak, the highest peak. I click on this mark and I'm zooming in my audio file to a sample level, and I'm going to change the display to time format sample so I can know exactly by selecting them how many samples I'm selecting. Looking here, you will see the length of the amount of samples selected, right? So I have a peak here at -1.28 and I need to go at -7, 5.7. So this is the starting point, and from there on, that's it. And from there on, I will be able to reduce slowly the gain, going by peaks that are less and less loud. Okay, next one, 1.33, same, 5.7 will be fine. So selecting here, going down to select the lower area, and here you go. And now I'm going to speed up the process a little bit because this is going to be very long and tedious. It's interesting to note that while doing this, I'm addressing a few samples, but I'm reducing them of 5 decibels. So I'm gaining 5 decibels of headroom, of clean headroom. This is tremendous, right? More transparent like that. While doing so, I'll always also watch the curve to not add too many asperities in the waveform to keep it transparent. 1.86 is like 1.9, so 5.1. While doing this, I'm doing just increments of 0.1 dB. It doesn't need to be that granular, right? So 4.9, next one, 2, so 4.7. All right, so jump cut forward. This is what this waveform now looks like. This is, of course, much cleaner. This is much better, but the problem is, well, it took me 40 minutes to get there. So as you might guess, this is tedious, it's not very creative, there is no very listening skills needed, so this is also why I can't just swap an audio file when someone sends me a new version of his mix, because this is a destructive process, this has to be done manually. So it's a tedious and not nice part of the job, but mandatory. So now we can just save, Command S, quit RX, and back in to Ableton, and now it's loading the new waveform. Now you see the proper ready to master audio file. So for the sake of the example, I just loaded the original track and the RX revised one. You can definitely see the huge difference, but is it audible, right? Because this is what really matters, is doing this in a transparent way. Well, let's play here. We have the strongest peaks here, right? Let's loop that. And the original. Totally inaudible. Let's just loop that really strong peak and let's flip between both versions. Original. I would even say that to my ears, it sounds more controlled. There is some little transient, some peak that is just grabbing the attention, while the revised version is more even, so to say. All right, so let's get now to the core of things and what could we do here, what should we do, and how do I address this kind of situation of mastering. First, of course, we need to pay proper attention and listening to the whole track. to speed the process, to not play the whole track for this video, I'm gonna just jump through the track to find different segments, maybe to listen to different tonal balances and different densities. Here I hear the hi-hat is a bit piercing, a little bit, and it seems a bit off on the edgy side, but it's okay. The kick has a nice punch. Has a nice low-end extension. We hear some decaying getting really in the sub area, so this is sounding very nice and very controlled. I would say maybe some in the medium area is a bit too much in the face. It's happening because of the melody. It's not here when the melody is filtered. So there is some resonance from the melody grabbing a little bit too much the attention, but it's not in the beginning. So I might tackle this with some dynamic EQ. Or because the melody is rising slowly and then it's kind of static, maybe with just some automation on the static EQ. Here I'm using True Balance from Sonible, and I made a template with reference tracks that is my Techno reference point. You see, this is their universal curve. They have different basic curves, but for me they don't work. Even electronic one is not fitting for what I'm doing, so this is better for my taste. You see the sizzle that I was talking about is a bit here, and the melody, the medium part, is a bit there, the resonances. We'll try to do is to fix a bit the resonance of the melody in this area and tame a bit the sizzle here. Lastly, as I said, the kick is proper, the balance is nice, the low end extension is great, but overall it's a great mix. I feel the track could be a bit more compact with a bit more body, and for that I would add some compression to pump a bit on the low end to increase the punch a little bit, and to have, instead of having a static decay, to having a bit of tower to help and support the groove. And this is something interesting. It's not using compression to gain loudness. It's really using compression. We'll use compression to print movement to enhance the groove. So how could I address these different things and in which order? For me, the first important thing is to always start with removing unwanted things. Because if later on I will beef up things, if later on I'm compressing things, I don't want the saturators, the compressors, actually any non-linear processor which is adding harmonic distortion to react on content that is not supposed to be there, because then I will create harmonics on that content that I don't want. And so it will be even harder to remove, because even if I take the fundamentals of those resonances, then they will get some harmonic buildup. So first things first, we go grab an EQ. And my go-to EQ, I have MPH is for my MIDI controller, but I'm not going to use this. Otherwise, you won't see the mouse knobs, because this is all linked to my controller. So I'm going to go a bit old school, but it's not a problem. Pro Q4, load this first. And really important in my workflow, on every channel I start with a metric meter plug perception AB, and this is at the end the reception, and this allows to have a gain matched bypass. So any move I make, I'm gonna remeasure, see how this changed the loudness and match the level. So I'm comparing things before and after at matched loudness, so I'm not tricked by any loudness shift, right? So that's the band. I'm trying to get from the fundamental to the upper, from the bass note to the upper note. Before, after, always eyes closed. This is in fact why I like my MPH controller, because I can just twist the knobs and turn them until it feels right. Here I'm doing everything with the mouse, but it's not a problem. This is a little bit too much, but it's done going to the right direction. I'm gonna try for this one, maybe instead of having it static, to have it dynamic and shift to the resonance suppressor mode. Let's compare, copy A, B, B, I'm gonna remove this and I'm getting back to what I did manually, like this, no dynamic control. And flip AB. And now really important to avoid any perception bias and any brain trickery, I'm going to close my eyes and flick a few times between those so I don't know which position I'm at, and I'm going to play it. This feels a bit more muddy. This one feels more open. So I'm gonna stick with that one. Very important also, I'm always shifting the EQ types. There's no hard rule. We are not in the upper range, but as soon as I start to touch to the medium, low, medium, the phase effect of the EQ can make a tremendous difference. So I'm going to switch between. Now I have this one, I'm going to copy, go back to A and shift A to natural phase. Again, shifting a few times. Yeah, I prefer this one. Feels somehow more natural, more close to the original. Let's bypass it to check. I might even reduce a little bit the static gain. Beautiful, beautiful. That's really just what I need. It's delicate. I'm not touching that much, but it's just taking off this resonance edge of the melody, and it's opening the mix. Then next step is the hi-hat. As I said, I heard it peaking. I think it's around here. Wait, just I'm gonna do it the other one. Of course, here I'm pushing things way too far for you to hear it, but so this is the range, and now I'm gonna dial in a little bit, and I'm gonna definitely do this on a dynamic way with some short attack time. Much. Perfect. It doesn't really change. The mix is nice. We don't want to hear any big changes. It's just like shaving things slightly. Okay, this is helping already nicely. Let's go to the part where I have all the highs here. This might be a tiny bit too brittle. But I don't want to shave the hi-hat stop end. So what I'm going to do is, for the sake of the exercise, putting it really down a lot to hear it. And I'm going to open the attack time a lot. So it's just taking off the highs slowly, but the transients are going to poke through. If I were to take it fast, and it's even adding crisp. And instead of leaving it automatic, I'm gonna fix the threshold. When you leave things automatic, ProQ is always making a kind of rebalancing of things depending of the spectral content, and this is not what I want. I want just when these highs are coming and becoming way too loud, when they're coming a bit too loud to tame them. So I don't want some automatic and dynamic control of the stop end. I want really to set the threshold. And let's set it directly here, because here it even sounds a bit dull, so what I can do is try to rebalance things a bit by boosting it again. So I push the band, I have control here. Let's listen here. Too slow. No, this is not working. It's pumping here. So what I'm gonna do is actually some simple automation of this gain here. This is nice. This is nice, and it's just here where it kicks. And in fact, let's listen to that. This high top band is only, I mean, not only, but mostly playing on the sides. Let's listen. So I'm gonna use a bell EQ just on the sides. Usually when doing mid-side processing, it's always advised to use linear phase filters instead of traditional analog phase shifting filters for the stereo image shifts. But because I'm gonna do this in a very gentle way and for a very short time, and that my EQ here is in natural phase, it's not linear, but it's less phase rotating, I'm gonna be okay with that. If I had to do heavy lifting, then I would open a new instance of Pro Q and do this in linear phase, right? So. No, dynamic isn't doing it. I'm gonna do it really like manual. I was on the lazy side of things, but it's not a problem. So automation lanes here. I have this gain, and we're gonna draw this manually. Even a bit earlier, and when it's coming back. So we're gonna make a curve like this, and we're gonna see how far should we take things. I guess 5 decibel would be a nice spot, but let's listen. Should be kept here, static. Side note, why is this also very important? Because side information above 8 kilohertz is also something that can be problematic when pressing vinyl. So controlling this is not only useful for my ears and for the overall quality of the track, but it's also making it better translate already for vinyl. As I said, usually I always start with mastering digital and then do the vinyl conforming. Yet here I have already some double intention under the hood. Let's play a before after. Nice. It's delicate, it's just taking off some of the edge. I'm going to just try a last thing is change the EQ curve to a shelf to see if it helps and shift a bit the frequency lower. Copy, redo. So I have now both versions, right? Even better like that. Okay, let's address now another thing. It's the tone and the density. Well, keeping this track playing, I feel there's something in the low medium area where I could help the track be a bit more fuller, especially in the drop here. It feels a little bit thin. I mean, quote thin. It's not thin, but in that ID. But I'm gonna go for Michelangelo. This is one of my go-to profiles. It's something I calibrated in Plugin Doctor to be sure it's as flat as possible with this EQ. And you feel directly there is some presence coming out. I might even push a bit some drive. I removed the drive on the lows. This was too much before. After. Here as well I can gain match things, so I'm gonna use the match button. So I'm sure this is level matched, right? Yeah, this low range is a bit more present, a bit more full. I'm gonna try to drive it a little bit more. This is crispy, this is way too much, but you hear it, just for letting you hear it. And it's interesting because the melody was a bit honky, hollow, so we reduced those tones, and now we actually bring up a little bit of density with that. Let's compare. This is a nice stage to compare with Perception AB. So far, so good. It's just getting things a bit better under control without eroding the track, without taking out the live. So now let's come to the punch. And the punch aspect, as I said, of the kick, this is something I like to do with either Shadow Hills or Vertigo, the VSC2. In this case, I don't need the kick to be so punchy, so this is not going to be the Vertigo. It's going to be the Shadow Hills. And I'm using the A-class mastering one, not the mastering simple version, because the simple version is messing up the stereo image. I had this before, but I'm not using this anymore. Digital modes have the same pass on the left and the right. This is keeping proper stereo image. And my go-to setting is using the steel as starting point, because this is just beefing a tiny bit the lows in a nice and beautiful way. Usually nickel is transparent and iron is a bit coloring the low mediums. It's nice for more, I would say, maybe urban soul music where you want a presence in the lows, but for this case, steel might be the best call. it's delicate. I mean, I'm barely using this as a gain reduction, but more as a tonal groovy box. You know, it's subtle, but it just blends the low end of the kick with the bass, and it's printing a slight movement. This feels flatter. Without it feels flatter, a bit more like lifeless. Quote, take all my words with really like a pinch of salt, you know. I'm using hard words to give the direction, but all those things are very delicate. But I feel it's gluing things better together. It's increasing a bit the overall vibe of the track. And actually, while hearing this, I'm thinking that I might go for a low-end focus model of Ozone to place before. And this will somehow a bit remove a part. I mean, this is the way I like to use it. Punch mode, and I'll find a sweet spot where it's boosting the subs a little bit and really like ducking a little bit what's before to open a bit the mix. Let's listen. I'm pushing it way too much, but for the sake of the exercise, listen. You hear it's like taking off some muddiness and enhancing really like, I mean, for this you need high-end speakers or very high quality studio headphones that go very low, but because this is really happening, I can't play it solo. This is happening in the sub range, right? In solo, we don't hear it that much from my impression. I mean, we hear it's increasing the contrast. It's bringing some punch and some energy back to the kick. But it's really like in context that it shines. And this is the kind of shit that is making a club sound system really like, yeah, pulse and make people dance. Let's listen both Shadow Hills and the Ozone Low End Focus together without. Now you understand what I meant earlier with the kick was nice, there was a nice low end extension, but the decay was a bit static. And now we have this kind of rumbling vibe, this back and forth. It goes and it comes back, and this is actually making the speaker move, it's making the air move, it's making the people move. And this is something really, really important, in my opinion, for electronic music, for club music. This is making a huge difference into the way this is experienced in a dance floor. Again, without and with. Huge difference. Now, one might say, yeah, but maybe we're tricked with the loudness. So here again, we're gonna go perception AB, measure, match level, and bypass. So here again, equal loudness things. I feel that what I did so far has been improving the track, right? So let's move on further, step by step. In terms of density, I told about this low, medium area. I have the impression that the track could be a bit more thick. I did a little bit with the Michelangelo, but it's not cutting everything I want. What I feel is that the low, medium on the sides could be a bit denser and more controlled. I'm going to try to let you listen to that here. I'm not sure it's going to work, but let's try it. If I put filter bass, this area on the sides, we don't have so much, and it feels much thinner than the mono part, right? So I'm gonna try. Maybe it's not gonna work. This is always the same. Mastering, there is no one way through. I'm gonna try to get Ozone 12 exciter. Always use this one in oversampling to avoid aliasing on the higher parts. I'm going to turn this first band off, and I'm going to turn on a band in the mids. Somehow this area, mid-side processing, and I'm not processing the mids. I'm processing the sides, and I'm going to try here to add some density with exciters on the side part of the signal. Maybe it's going to work, maybe not. Let's see. Remove the solo. Find the amount. I don't want it to sound distorted, I just want to sound it denser. I'm going to remove the filter on the master. And now I'm going to adjust the amount. Bit too low, it's a bit blurring things. Nice. And actually I might go to the mid part and see what happens if I fill in the gaps here in the mid part. Nice. See, we add a bit of width, but with density, it's not spreading, it's density, and yet there is, when we do this, there's this mono part that was a bit like absent, a bit distant, and it's coming forward. Let's listen before, after. I might actually even add the last band here, just to not having work too much on the high part here. Let's listen to the delta, what it's doing, the difference it's doing to the signal. See, there's this presence in the mid and this thickness on the sides. Presence in the mid, thickness on the sides. Again, let's do perception AB. Yeah. So we gain some presence without aggressivity. It's also helping somehow for this first resonances I had on the melody. Let's have a look at the frequency bands, right? Here I did cut something at 300 hertz, but it is going down to 200 and up to close to 400, 500, like somehow, right? Where did I put my point here? At 6, so it's just above. So basically it's adding harmonics in the mid part for, let's play this in solo. We have the melody here, but we don't have the root of the melody. Root of the melody is here. So by increasing a bit the harmonics on the upper part, it's balancing also this thing of the melody. And so both together, let's move this ozone for a second. No, I'm not going to move it. I'm going to key map it. So I will call this B, and I will call my EQ here B. And so we can check with before and after. Before, the melody is there, lower in the center, but a bit hollow. A bit, not hollow, but a bit boomy. After, before. Before it feels like the melody is a bit like locked in a box, lower in the center, and a bit muddy. And after, it's like the melody opens up and spreads out, and we lose that kind of boomy in the lower part of the spectrum. Again, before, after. Lovely. For me, this is really lovely. It was that part that we were missing. It's getting the presence of that melody, thickening the sides without being overpowering. Let's play the whole master before and after gain matched, and let's listen to different part of the track. Very important, always listen at the beginning when the kick is playing and we have more like filtered out things to hear if it doesn't sound artificial, right? So let's go back to the beginning. Maybe the perks here are taking a bit too much, so this is coming from this one. I'm gonna lower this a little bit. Hear the difference? That's nice. I still here have some little issues of stereo width. They are not an issue in an audible way. If I play it in mono, the bass is coherent. It's not like doing some tremolos or some fluttery kind of artifacts due to phase cancellation. Yet I know for vinyl this is also a bit problematic because I have not a very clean correlation, low end. It's not a crazy deal, but I have a little bit. So for that part, I'm going to use Basslane. I have my kind of go-to setup. But here I can increase that one a bit more. And let's listen to that. Listen to the impact of the kick. We're even gaining a little bit of punch. Let's remove the filter. So before nice. Bringing back a bit of focus in the top low end, in the sub area. Again, now let's do a before after. I think now it's time to hit the final limiter. So for this one, my go-to starting point is limit 1. Let's start at 0. %, is only clipping. This is a bit distorting already on the kicks, and at 0 it's only the limiter, and this is somehow a bit changing the groove, and I don't like it totally. It's transparent, but you hear the hit is like pack, 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 and with the limiter it's changing a bit that vibe. So I'm gonna go for in between. This is grooving. And now what your ears, I mean, no, I'm going to compensate this later while editing the video, but now I'm going to go back to -1 dB full scale, putting my output gain at 0. Beautiful. -7, 8 lefs. Perfect. Let's listen further. Not totally there yet, because we tamed the top end here, but now playing it louder, I feel there's something, a resonance in the mids happening here. Let's go back to the Pro Q4. This is the area. Pushing it a lot for you to let it being audible, but this is where I want to fix things. And is this playing in the mid part, on the sides, or everywhere? Pay attention. I feel it's mostly on the side as well. Let's listen. Before I'm gonna dip a little bit. I mean, 6 decibels is already a lot, but just for the sake of it. No, it's playing also in the center. So, stereo. This is doing the job, so I'm gonna turn this back to 0. Can I do it as a lazy? So it's just doing some automation here again, and this is why it matters to do automations, right? Support the storytelling of the music. In fact, I might try it dynamic with a resonance suppressor. This does the job for me. So here it's not working. Actually, it's already kicking in slightly here, so. Doing the same for the bend of the melody. creating some contrast, opening a little bit. Last little trick I like to do is I'm gonna put a utility module just in front of everything. Going for the volume. Find the kick hit right here. Like this, edit value minus 1.5. Just a little thing to increase the drop effect. In fact, the utility is going to be at the end after the limiter, so it's not pushing the limiter. And here you go. So this is it. This was me mastering from start to finish the last track of Isabel Soto. I hope you understood that for me what matters more was to share my reflections and the approaches to solve some problems rather than telling you you should use this tool for that or this tool for that or use this thing with this setting. There is no absolute setting. It's always dictated by the music. Every track is different, and for every track I might use different tools. So this is just one approach for one given track. I hope this was helpful and it will help you push your music to new heights. I hope you enjoyed this content, and if you did, please leave me a little like, subscribe to the channel, or share this video to some friends who might learn from it as well. I hope to see you soon in another video. Until then, take care.